Hello, viewers out there. You're welcome to our channel. This is Family Aspect, and I have something to share with you today. Today, I'm talking about resolving arguments in marriage, the act of listening. How important is this skill in marriage, resolving problems and arguments and conflicts? Well, you can tell in my previous video, I shared with you some of the things men need to know about arguments and also how they need to apply some of those things. Now today I'm taking it further to explain and also give you some of the things I've gathered, I've learned so far and apply in my relationship, and what works, the principle that works, that has to do with resolving conflicts, resolving arguments in marriage. This is so important. Now, you need to know marital discords is one of the leading cause of human suffering today. You need to know that marital discord is one of the leading cause of human sufferings. If you find that people are suffering in many ways of their lives, one of the things is relationship discord or marital discord that leads to the human suffering in life in our world today. So a lot of people don't know that. And also you need to know that when you are married, there is a lot more to disagree about than when you were just dating. This is one of the things that many people don't understand. When you get married, you have to have conflicts even more than when you were dating. And a lot of people think that, oh, if they get married, life is going to get better. Their relationship is going to just get better automatically, or things are just going to work out fine, or, things will begin to change better for them. But in reality, listen guys, in reality, that's not the case. Oh dear, that's not the case, because you get to have more quarrels, more arguments, more things to have conflict with. That's the problem, you see. So you need to understand that when you're married, there's a lot more to disagree with or disagree about than when you were dating. So you need to be prepared. That's one of the things a lot of people don't know who are married and wondered, why are we quarreling and fighting? It's as though these things were not supposed to be there. But I told you, there is no marriage without conflict. As long as you are living in this world, you will have trouble in it. But you need to know what to do to avoid it and resolve it. That's your skill. That's what we are trying to help you get, okay? It's very important. It's very, very important. You need to know that the more skills you have at diffusing arguments, the happier you will be. This is one of the things that will help your listening skills, because the ability to listen, the art of listening when arguments arise, is so important to resolving any form of conflict or argument in the future before it escalates to any length. So the first thing you want to learn or you want to understand is that in marriage, there will be argument, there will be conflict. In fact, there's a lot of things to disagree about than anything else in marriage, okay? And also you need to know that you need a skill. You need a skill to be able to diffuse or to be able to diffuse. You get it? Argument, quench arguments. You need that skill to be able to quench any arguments that may arise. Because when you have that skill, the happier your life will be. I tell you the truth, the happier your life will be. So you need that. You need that very much in your life. So you also need to know that listening does not mean just waiting for the other person to stop talking so you can start talking. Women have this attitude in most cases when an argument is rising up. Okay, that's okay. Let him finish talking. By the time the man is talking, they already arrange the dialogue, the necessary, bullet point dialogue that they are going to reply their man, their husband with. That kind of premeditated conversation is the problem, because you see, you're not listening at all. To listen doesn't mean, okay, let him finish talking, let her finish talking, then I have something to say to you. It doesn't make sense. So listen means you are actually paying attention to what makes that person feel bad. You're paying attention to what makes that person feel horrified. You're paying attention to what makes that person feel unpeaceful. You get it? You're paying attention, and then you empathize with that person. It's like putting yourself in that person's shoes to understand what is actually wrong. Why is this person talking and angry like this? You want to understand. You listen. You pay attention to their pain. You pay attention to their cry. That is what that skill will do for you. Listening. Okay. You also need to know how to show humility and compassion, because humility and compassion ends more fights than yearning and accusing. Humility, showing compassion will end a lot of fight in your mind. Oh man, I don't know how else to express this, because this is what works. All this fight that many homes, marriages, and relationships they are going through, this constant fight and quarreling, can be stopped within the phase of the argument, within the arising of the argument. You don't need it to escalate at all. So the reality is you need to show humility. One of the things that makes people fight a lot, especially during argument, is pride. One person doesn't want to give in to the other. One person wants his words to count, his opinion to be heard, his decision to be accepted. So the other one also wants the same thing. So there is no one who is humble enough and compassionate enough to put an end to it. To say, okay, you let us listen to you. Let us take your opinion. Let us follow your advice. You see, no one is humble enough. That's a problem. You need to take that seriously. That is a problem. All right. Again, you need to know not to take literally most things said in the heat of argument or in the heat of quarrel. You need to understand not everything said in the heat of quarrel you should take personally. I have said this before and I'm saying it again because it's so important in resolving conflicts, resolving arguments. You don't want to take, because especially women, there are things they say when they are angry, when the argument is hot. You don't want to take those things personally, because they don't mean those things that they are saying. Most things they say, they don't mean it at all. And the same way, men also, there are some things that men say when they are angry, they don't really mean it. Okay? So don't take most things. Most things. I didn't say all. Most things. So you need to know which one you're actually going to take seriously. All right? Okay. Now, you need to know if you do not say anything mean. I've said this before and I'm saying it again. If you do not say anything mean or cruel, you will have one less thing to apologize for. Because a lot of the apologies we tender is as a result of cruel words. It's as a result of mean words that we say. We will not have to be forced to apologize to those mean words, for those cruel words, because we're trying to hurt our partner, to make them feel bad, so that they can shut their mouth or get into their comfort zone or something. But in reality, that kind of behavior is not acceptable. It's wrong. It will destroy the self-esteem of your partner. It will destroy the confidence. It will destroy trust. It will destroy the relationship effectively over time, eventually. So you need to understand it will destroy the relationship. So first, not first, but what I want you to know is this. Don't say things that are cruel or mean in the heat of your conversation or in the heat of the argument, okay? You don't need to, because at the end of the day, you have to apologize for those things. And you want to have less apologies, then don't say anything mean. Don't say anything cruel to your partner when you're arguing, because argument is unavoidable, okay? Disagreement will surely come, but you have to learn how to resolve. That is what I'm trying to help you get, because it's so important to learn how to resolve and avoid it as well. Okay, now you also need to know that marriage doesn't give you permission to fight harder and scream louder. In fact, marriage is an invitation to always deal with your spouse lovingly. 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 It is an invitation to deal with your spouse lovingly. So you have a purpose, you have an assignment in your marriage to deal with your spouse lovingly. Lovingly. Not an occasion, an invitation to, a permission to fight. It's not an occasion to scream, to shout, to argue. It's not an occasion for it. It is an occasion where you actually show love and empathy to your spouse. This is one of the beautiful things in marriage that you have to put in your heart. So when you're married, you need to think about these things. It is so important you think about these things. Okay? Another thing you want to do to resolve marriage, to resolve conflict in your marriage or argument in your marriage, you need to know that truly hurtful comments are off limits. Hurtful comments. Hurtful comments. I mentioned cruel words just now. And mean words. Hurtful comments. You have to take them off limit in your marriage, in your relationship. You want to be happy? You want to experience joy? You want to experience love in your marriage, in your relationship? Hurtful words. Learn not to speak bad words against your spouse. Don't talk your spouse down. Don't demean your partner, your spouse. Don't speak ill of your spouse. Hurtful words, hurtful comments, whether by flattery or by joke. There is nothing like joke that is just not required. You know what I mean by that is, some people say, well, I'm just joking. And you have sarcastically say hurtful thing to that person. And you say it's a joke. No, that's so expensive. That's not a joke. So don't say things that will hurt your partner and say it's a joke. All right? You need to know that, because some of these things that we do, we play with these things, we think it's just normal. No, these things are destroying our relationship. So we need to take it seriously. And now, another thing you need to know that your spouse think you are saying. You need to know what your spouse think you are saying. You need to know what your spouse think you are saying. For instance, you need to have him repeat or have her repeat what you said, your words. Sometimes the way we are listening is different from listening. You get it? You'll be amazed at what you will hear them tell you that they heard. It has happened to me sometimes. When I just, I didn't say that. That's not what I meant. But to her, that's what she heard. To me, that is what I heard. I said, okay, what did you say? What did I say? What did you think I said? Repeat it. And the person say, and she says, but you said, that's not what I said. So in most cases, when we are in arguing, our partner tends to hear something different from what we are actually saying. So you need to know what your partner is hearing. It's very important. It's an art of listening. It's a skill you need to practice. So learn to ask them to tell you what you said, what they heard that you said. What are your words? What did you hear I said? What did you think I said? And they will tell you. And you'll be amazed in most cases that it's not actually what you said that they are repeating to you. That's not what they heard. Okay, another thing you need to know another thing you need to know in resolving argument is that you need to know that coming home tired, angry, hungry, and on the edge is a good indicator of how your night is going to go. You need to be careful. Let me say that again. When you come home hungry, come home tired, angry, and you are on the edge right now, that is very, very, very delicate moment for you. You need to be very careful. Those symptoms you feel, those emotions you feel right there is an indication that something bad is about to happen. It's just to tell you that this is how your day is going to end. This is how your night is going to go if you don't want to sleep on the couch. So the reality is, watch out for how you feel and try not to express those feelings. Try not, find a way to discharge those feelings that may cause harm to your spouse. Sometimes we try to vent our aggressions, our feelings aggressively on our spouse. Finding a way to blame them for our pain, our tiredness, our anger, our emotional, problems. We try to put it on our spouse. In most cases, that's what many people do, and it's not going to help, because that will destroy your relationship. So be careful, be very careful. So another thing you need to know is this: listening can help you avoid a lot of fights. Listening. When an argument is, your spouse is trying to explain something to you, he's trying to communicate something to you, and with so much emotion and so much probably anger, or you can see that they're upset. Listening is very important. It will help you to stop and avoid fights. So, like when someone say, when you say to your spouse, or probably your spouse is telling you, we're spending too much money. We're spending too much money. Why are we spending too much money? He is not, she is not, or he's not accusing you of being like someone else. But in reality, when that kind of conversation comes up, the first thing is not to reply or say, the way you feel you want to reply. So you need to be careful and listen. Okay, why? Tell me what's going on. And then sit the person down and say, tell me why? What's going on? What do you mean we're spending too much money? Can you explain to me, please? What is it? Then listen. Very important. Listen. So another thing you can practice, which I believe is going to help, is to know that before a fight escalates into, call it whatever fight, World War III, World War IV, or whatever, you need to ask yourself, I shared this with the men before, you need to ask yourself, how important is this? Is it not? If it is not important, move on. Get a dinner or something. Go out, get a drink. I'm not talking about go drinking alcohol. No, go out, get a glass of wine, take something, be nice. Just, let it go. We have to practice letting go. It's very important. Practicing letting go is so important. If it is not important, in other words, how important is this argument? How important is this quarrel to me? What changes will it make? If it is not important, move on. Let it go. You need to practice that. And another thing you need to practice, or you need to learn, is know that people tend to not listen to people who are attacking them. A lot of spouses don't know this. A lot of people in marriage and relationship don't know this. That people, when someone attack you, you are not listening to that person that is attacking you. So don't be on the attack. Don't be on the attack. Rather, be on the defense. Okay, in other words, stay on the other side to listen. You need to know people tend not to listen to the people who are attacking them. So when your spouse is, and you find out your spouse is attacking you, just know that you are not listening. She should know that you're not listening, or whoever is attacking who. Let me say you are attacking your spouse. If you are attacking your spouse, it is obvious that your spouse is not listening to you. You need to know that quickly and make a change. Another thing I would like to share with you in resolving conflict is that you need to know patience has never started a fight. It takes patience to listen. So patience has never started a fight. It takes patience to listen. So learn to be patient so that you'll be able to listen. It takes patience to listen. And patience has never started a fight. Can you imagine one of the beautiful ways to avoid conflict, fights, and quarreling? Because quarreling is not acceptable. It's not something you want to allow in your marriage, in your relationship. Even God commanded us not to quarrel, because quarreling is not of God. You need to know that. So in your marriage, you need to take that out. And I'm showing you how. All right. Now, the last thing I would like to share with you today, the video is going to end in a few minutes, but I want to share this with you. You need to know, if you learn to listen without reacting defensively, you will slow down your partner's attack and they will drop their defenses. I'll say that again. You need to know, if you learn how to listen without reacting defensively, because a lot of people listen with reactive defensive reaction. Let me put it that way. When a man is listening with defensive reaction, then it will lead to a lot of attack. You will see the man punching with so much attack of words and questioning, interrogation. Why? Because you're defensive. So when you listen without being defensive. That alone will slow down the attack that is coming from your partner, will also drop their defenses, and they will come plain emotionally and compassionate with you. This is very important for us to look into. So if you're looking out of resolving your arguments in your marriage, the fight and conflict that you're going through in your relationship, in your marriage, that has been nagging and hunting you down, this is the way to go. If you will practice these things, you'll be amazed the kind of result that you're going to get. Listen, it takes patience to put these things to work. All right? I encourage you to practice them with patience. All right? With time, you'll be amazed the result you begin to get. All right. Thank you guys for listening. I believe this information has been helpful to you and you're going to put it to work. I would like to hear your side of view, your comment, what you think about what I've shared with you today. And for those of you watching us for the first time, this is your first time of being on our channel, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, because you don't want to miss any video that we're going to come up with in the next couple of weeks and days. So ensure that you are connected. And those of you who have been on with us, share this video with your loved ones and friends, and we'd like to hear your side of this video, your side of opinion. We want to know what you think. What do you think? We want to hear from you. Thank you so much. Now, if you have a story about your relationship or your life that you want to share with us, and you feel like sharing your story with us, please write to us on our email. The email is on the description below. Write to us. We'll be able to look into your story and what you're going through, and then probably share what benefit, what things you could do, and how to turn things around for your good, for the benefit of others as well. So, thank you guys. Bye for now.